That's how you say good morning in Australia.
My name is Jeff. My name is Jeff.
Chento's still on the my name is Jeff meme.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's been a while, that one. How we doing, people?
Bro, I'm trailing like years, to be honest. Come online, time to long. Bro. Bruv. You're long in this, eh? Oh,
Baxter
man.
on wrong account? What are we talking about?
Baxter back with the cap. Yeah. Bro, it's the same guy that immediately starts bashing you.
Same dude. Literally same dude.
I think I'm gonna make him a mod.
Please don't. I think that guy has a crush on me. Real shit. Alright. I don't know what you guys mean by wrong account. Maybe you think we're supposed to be on Crypto Banter. I'm not sure. But anyway, we're here and we are live and we are ready to rumble, people. And if I may say so myself, the market looks interesting. It looks
yes,
like it's moving. So what are your thoughts?
Bro, I honestly I have a short
one more
setup
thing,
in
Chento.
mind.
I think your microphone isn't on your actual mic. I think it's on your headphones.
Oh, give me a second.
You can still hear you, but it's not as crispy.
Of silence.
That's better, I think.
I didn't change anything yet. No, I did. Now?
Yeah, it's better.
Hello.
Yep, just
So,
mute yourself on Discord.
What I'm seeing is a big ass liquidity.
Actually, I think you're echoing.
At 69.7.
I think you're echoing. Have you got two mics selected? Or are you maybe doubling on my... Can you just mute yourself on Discord for a sec? Sorry, people. I can hear Chento twice.
Should be fixed now.
Yep. All right, all good. Sorry, ready to go.
Yeah. So all I'm seeing right now is this. And I cannot take my eyes off of it. Because there's so much liquidity stacked here again. So I am gonna go for the 69.7K short.
That would have been an absolute delicious one yesterday. I know you had limits in the Discord set originally.
I think it's coming back, my friend.
Okay, so, what makes you think that?
My spider senses. No, the liquidity stacked up again. So what I can see is that especially around here, the liquidity stacked so fast, the 69.5K region. Hence why.
Would you consider longing up there?
No. Because we already left the dwell block. So they might reject the 69K. No, I wouldn't long it. Because it's breaking out of the lines. I want to short it.
All right, well, you heard it here first, people. We are looking at a short, potentially. Looks like we've got a little bit of a ways to go, though, before we enter, because that's the spot up there in where the grey and the blue squares are connecting. Now, how are you guys in the chat today? Are you guys feeling bullish or bearish? What's your thoughts? Anyone have any good wins over the weekend or taking any banger trades? Let us know.
What about the funny stuff from Australia? Bro, listen. I figured something out over the weekend. The most dangerous plant in the world that gives you the most agonizing pain for months. Where do we think it is grown?
It would be funny to pull up the video.
Fucking
Chento
Aussie.
he sends me this video and it's talking for the first 20 seconds are about the plant, and then the logo of Australia just pops up, the shape of Australia, and it was so funny. I knew exactly why he sent it. So much Australia hate in here, but I know there's so many freaking Aussies on the night shift in here enjoying this stream, and we're fed up. We're absolutely sick of it, and we are going to clap back one day. It will be similar to the Great Emu War, but it'll be towards the Netherlands and towards you.
The most painful plant in the world is the 𝗕𝗵𝗎𝗪. Who the fuck gives it that name? The 𝗕𝗵𝗎𝗪. That thing gives you horrific pains. Oh man, I just had a 𝗕𝗵𝗎𝗪. Oh nice, how was it? Good, I'm in the fucking hospital. Often called the stinging tree or suicide plant. It grows in the rainforest areas of, drumroll please, fucking Australia, because where else would you put it? Particularly Queensland and the Archean tablelands. Oh, and Indonesia, but it's
Oh, I just quickly
known
dropped that
for
one in there.
causing excruciating, long-lasting pain via tiny toxic hairs that feel like acid and electricity simultaneously.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, well, I
Bro,
see
why
your
did
point.
they even
I see
buff
your
the
point.
plants there?
But you haven't
like-
come here. Like, you haven't been here. You haven't.
Bro,
I grow that plant in my backyard,
Bro.
and I can tell you that it's not that bad.
listen. I can deal with the animals on land killing me all, right? I can deal with the fact that the spiders are so big. I once seen like a guy saying, oh, you don't have to be afraid of the huntsman spiders. Why? Because you can hear them coming. Listen up, fucker. If I hear the spider coming, it's paying rent. And next to that, all the things in the ocean equally want to kill you. Like the rockfish, a dangerous fucking jellyfish, whatever, right?
The box jellyfish.
And then to top it all off, the plants also want to kill you.
But you could. The alternative is
Whoever-
going to London, and then the people want to kill you. What would you rather?
Yeah, that's true. It's either getting shivved by a poisonous plant or getting shivved in the subway in London, you know?
Through that.
Yeah,
By
that's why
rogue men.
Aussie is an island, to keep the shit there. Bro, it feels like, you know, that
This
God was
guy.
doing
This is
some
the
trial and error
forehead
on you
guy.
guys.
The forehead guy's just said that's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
Australia is an island, to keep all the shit there. This dude is a natural bred hater, and he needs to sort out his shit.
Yeah.
This guy wakes up and just decides to be
Bro, but
angry
listen,
at the world.
let's be realistic here, right? It feels like God at one point was like, you know, I need a bit of a trial and error zone. I need to test some things, you know, how that shit works. Like, I make a killer chicken, I call it the emu. I make it 250 fucking pounds and I give it bulletproof feathers. Where am I gonna put this shit? Wait, I can't just release this to the world, right? No, so what do they do with it? They just throw it on the island. But he kept on doing that stuff.
By the way, we're pumping.
yeah.
I've got my chart open. Swap tabs and take a look.
Yeah, I seen it on my other tab.
We're ripping. We're ripping.
Yeah. We're ripping to our entry. Exactly as we are expecting it to do, you know?
And by the way, people changing the topic off of the deaths of Australia and onto the profit land of my account, we are at
That's not important.
$14,270 in the account. So we're getting there. Actually, I think I need to update that little green bar at the top because we're a little bit further along. So I took a few trades from Chento in the Discord. Yo.
Did you put the limit order for this one yet?
No, I will. So what's the price?
$69,737.
Alright, and we full porting? Because if we full
Half.
port, it's 10k because we've still got 4k out of the account as our insurance fund. So it's not technically a full port.
𝗕𝗟𝗢𝗙 full port.
All right, let's do it. And yeah, I took a couple trades over the weekend just based on what Chento sent into the Discord and his inner circle chat, and made another $1,200 or so over the weekend in the account. So I was pretty happy with that. All right, I'm setting an order at 69,737 for a 40x full port.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Sorry, I heard 7.
But it's actually not a full port. It's a 66% port because we have 4K sitting aside, or like 70%. But yeah, full port of what's actually in the blowfin right now. That's a $400,000 position. Let's see how we go. Hopefully this smacks it because I want to get some. I want to have some fun on stream. Still haven't set off my surprise in a while, so.
No, because the previous time it took you 30 minutes.
Yeah, I figured it out. Took its time, but figured it out. How are you guys in the chat today? Everyone having
took
fun?
Your sweet ass time.
Did everyone eat lots of chocolate over the weekend? I know I did. I got fat.
Yeah, how was Easter for you? You had some fun?
Yeah, it was good. Lots of chocolates, but it was good. How about you?
Good, good, good. Bro, you know me. I worked.
I worked on my weight and increasing it.
That's good. That's good.
Maybe you would give me that forearm strength for that.
Are we bumping? Yes, it is. It is bumping. You've seen that very well.
Hopefully it doesn't fully retrace from here. That would be sad.
Bro, I'm thinking about switching time frames to really weird shit.
But like 4 minutes,
90
seconds.
No, 3 minutes, 50 minutes, 24 minutes, 57 minutes, shit like that. So multiples of 3 instead of 5, because everyone is using the same setup.
Yeah, that is interesting. 27 minutes. I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, 24. So I want to go 3, 15, 24, or 3, 12, 24, 48. That's what I'm thinking. Baxter looking extra good tonight, Loki. Yeah, I had the same thing, man. I told him to tune it down a bit before I fall in love.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Glorious Susie, thank you. I'm assuming you're a man, because I think the audience of these streams has got to be 99% males. There are a few females in here though, so for those of you, thank you. Oh, what a retracement. $200 retracement.
Yeah. The whales are buying though.
Your screen is black, by the way, I will say. Wearing the cap to hide the forehead. Come on, people. I cannot catch a freaking break. I'll take it off just to prove the world that I don't care.
Is it back now?
Yeah, it's back.
Weird.
Alright, we're back.
Baxter's gotten a little bit of color in his face. Looking good, G.
Thanks, guys. I know what you're doing. You're making up for all the gut-wrenching hate I've had over the last 5 streams and pushed me to my absolute limit, and you're doing the compliment sandwich. I know what you do.
The compliment sandwich.
Yeah. Start with a compliment, some nasty hate, finish with a compliment. It's the sandwich. It hurts a little bit less. Did any of you guys make any money over the weekend trading? Anyone have some bangers? I will say I was unfortunate yesterday. I know in the Discord you posted a limit at 69.9 and then you moved it up. But if that 69.9 stayed, that would have printed. On 40x, that would have been like 130% trade.
Yeah, but it probably would have wigged out here.
Wigged out of your stop?
Yeah.
Well, that would have hurt even more.
Bro, all you should have done was take my next dwell block. I skipped one. I had the 70.304 marked off. and it went to 73.55, so we could have taken it on like 30 cents or $30 accuracy, but it's
Well, that would have been like the most ridiculously good trade ever. We would have printed off that.
no, bro, that was that long couple weeks back that we did on the live stream as well.
Yeah, that missed it by $30 and then ran up 3%. Yeah. We will get there though. We're climbing, as obviously, as you know, and probably everyone else in this chat, the
Bro,
compound
you
interest.
3x your port in
bigger.
10 days of trading. We 3x the money in 10 days of trading. That's ludicrous.
Absolutely fucking ludicrous. It is ludicrous. This guy's a true Vegemite warrior. That's a great question for Chento, actually. I didn't even think of that. Have you tried Vegemite?
What is it?
Oh.
I haven't even heard of it.
What? This guy joking? That's the thing.
Bro,
like,
listen,
that's another thing for you to hate on how
exists
disgusting
out of-
Vegemite is.
Bro, my day consists out of 16 hours of sitting here. What
Well, you
else
seem
do
to know
think I
more
do
about
in
the
between?
emu war, the 𝗕𝗟𝗢𝗙 plant, the bull shark, the
Yeah,
freaking whatever else, and
yeah.
search up
The
Vegemite.
rockfish.
You would have seen people trying Vegemite.
Don't do it,
on-
Chento. It's a trap. I'm not gonna do it.
It's genuinely not a trap. It's like a thick black spread that you put on toast. It's very salty. It's
Concentrated
pretty-
yeast. No, thank
pretty
you.
yummy. I like it, but you got to go easy.
Okay, so let's maybe by accident talk a bit about trading.
All right.
So
Let's
we
do
are
it.
building updates on the 𝗨𝗏𝗡 platform. As most of you know, we're gonna release it pretty soon. 𝗨𝗏𝗡 now also has the liquidation data on the left, which is pretty awesome. So we're pulling the live liquidation data of the exchanges. We now have Aster, Gate, OKX, Bitget, Bybit, and Binance already working. We're working on the rest. So you can live see the amount of liquidations for the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the 24 hours. We have the money flow on the bottom right, and we're getting pretty fucking close to releasing. The indicator stack itself is also next to done. The liquidations is done. The Chento and 𝗕𝗏𝗏 is done. And session indicator is done. So we are pretty much getting there to release the indicator stack.
So
Why am
everyone's
I
going to be
taking
taking the
this
same
trade?
trades as you.
Yeah, bro, that's perfect. They already do.
True.
Because everyone, 80% listens to me.
Valid point.
But the thing is, why am I taking this trade? We had, let me get the liquidations off. Still doesn't make sense. We had an exponential move up, right? So what we did in the weekend, and we kind of saw it coming, we didn't want to break and we consolidated a mid-range. We had an exponential move up. As by my theory, we consolidated above the dwell block. What happens? We test the next one, rejection, retest, higher high, rejection, and now breaking back into the structure. We consolidated above, retested, slightly consolidation above, shifting out to this one. So that's why I'm aiming at a retest of this dwell block. It might be a shallow retrace for continuation up, because then it would still make a higher low. But we have seen this area before, rejected here, and now we are approaching the same area. So what am I looking for? What am I expecting that's going to happen? Same thing. We're going to consolidate here a bit. We're going to go above, retest the above, maybe slightly higher, and we're going to break down into, hopefully, back the lows of the 66K region. Why? That lines perfectly with the liquidation clusters that we're currently seeing, and it lines perfectly with other lines that are starting to trend lower. As you can see, we perfectly bounce off the accelerated moving EMAs again into the liquidity clusters. So this has more time to develop, while the biggest clusters are currently up here. All I hope is that they stop sweeping at this one, not going for these. If it happens, we will look for a re-entry at the 70.5K region. So if this one doesn't work, something like this is going to be our next entry. And then we still have the same aim. That will increase the risk reward. And because the risk reward is increased, we can have slightly more risk to the upside, but I don't want to get front run yet again. So this is the plan. And this is my reasoning why we are actually doing this right now. So I expect a slower grind up a more impulse move down that might be a bit more like this. Any other questions? No? Thank you. See you tomorrow.
That is interesting. Would you, if you had taken that trade yesterday, taken the short that you'd initially set, say at 69.9, and you hadn't been wicked out for the stop, is there something that's happened down here where you would have taken profits and closed it out fully?
Yes. This consolidation. After they bounced here, I would have waited for the retest and see, because the market always double tests the bottoms right now. I can prove it to you. Look. Initial move, shift out, retest, shift out again. Initial move, retest, shift out again. Initial move, retest, shift out again. The market always is second bottoming currently. Look, shift out, retest again. Even though this takes slightly longer, this takes like 3-4 hours, but the market never V-shapes anymore. Never. It doesn't do it. You know, this is also exponential candle down, lower bottom before actually moving out. And then it starts making M patterns before outshifting. So the pump is strong. Were you long? Not yet. I'm not long biased yet. But that's personal, you know? So this is the concept that I'm looking at, and it's a slight algorithmic change that I've picked up recently, is that they started doing that again.
Interesting. Okay, well, let's see. Hopefully we hit
more
our limit.
Single bottoms. Almost everything is giving double bottoms, and then shifting out from the double bottom perspective. Is it worth to trade on the EMAs? Depends. I wouldn't just trade on EMAs. I would have them as a confluence. Then it might potentially could very well add value, but I wouldn't solemnly trade on the EMAs. Same as the emus. You can't just rely on the emus.
Especially when they got bulletproof wings.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
That's crazy, huh? Yeah. If you know, you know. Dixie's slightly coming down, but today is D-Day because our orange friend says that he's going to bomb all of Iran to the absolute ground. So that's going to be an interesting day. It's Bridge Day, it's Oil Day, it's Power Plant Day. It's like... and by the way, praise Allah apparently now in Truth Media, or Truth Social. Have you read that tweet?
Yeah, I read the tweet. It was ridiculous. It's getting crazy out here.
That's the wildest thing I've seen.
We've never seen this ever. We're in such a weird time, and I like the fact that you've been more conservative with your trades. I know when you were doing your 1K to 100K challenge, obviously your mindset's different when you're trading your money versus effectively my money, but we've been more cash heavy now.
Read this. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one, in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking straits, you crazy bastard, or you will be living in hell. Just watch. Praise to be Allah, President Donald J. Trump.
Very random.
Listen, this stuff normally gets you on an FBI watch list.
We're in a crazy time. I feel like we're writing the history books right now. Kids will be reading about these.
Listen, what I feel is like I'm watching a mixture between the president and Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
I think that's a pretty good way to phrase it.
You know, it's the first president ever that is, yeah,
making political statements via Twitter, via Truth Social, like huge statements. But yeah, I guess we'll see.
I don't even know what to say about it anymore.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat.
So I want this level to hold. Oh, I definitely want this 69K level to hold.
Why do you want it to hold if we're going to push upwards, you mean? If you think we break down, could it?
Yeah.
Could it be invalidated?
If we break down here, it's not going to be pretty because it's like mid-London session.
Would you short it if we break down here without reaching the limit?
I don't know. Like you said, I'm a bit more conservative currently. And it is due to the fact that I think we're not bottomed yet, but we are currently in the trap zone. And what I mean with trap zone is that this is the hardest time to trade in a downtrending market or an uptrending market. You know, it's chop up, chop down, chop up, chop down, chop up, chop down. And this is where most people lose most of their capital. It's not in ferocious moves of a couple of Ks. No, it's 2 up, 2 down, 2 up, 2 down, 2 up, 2 down. Because you can see every day they're liquidating. And I know it's not 10-10 numbers, but still they're liquidating 200, 300, 400, 500 million a day. Pretty casual, you know? So these markets take so much money out of people's pockets that this is the most dangerous time to trade. If we get a move down, people will start longing again, and that's when it's safe to long. If we get an exponential move up, it's probably safe to short. But now we're just in an equilibrium spot-wise where, you know, it's 69K. It's not 70, it's not 66, it's also not 72, and I know that sounds very stupid, but 69 is absolutely nothing, you know?
You told me that was your favorite number.
It's a void. Yeah, of course it is. Duh. No, but no, this is serious talk, you know? It's a pretty dangerous spot. So let me look at my dwell blocks. This one should probably go up a little. I don't know. This one is probably invalidated, I think.
So what's invalidating a dwell block when you're moving them around like that? What are you looking
When I
at?
don't see enough confluence anymore, I'm looking for confluence. Like I want to see that the market has spent quite some time there, you know?
It looks like you've added a lot more from when we were initially looking at your dwell blocks. Looks like it's probably doubled in lines.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to clean up here.
Previous cycle all-time high we're sitting at, apparently. That's interesting.
But shit like this still has a lot of validity. This one I'm doubting.
What's making you doubt it
This is a
now
big gap.
after previously drawing it?
Listen, nothing stays valid forever, you know?
Is it recent moves that are invalidating the dwell
No,
block?
it's time spent. As you can see that the market spent time in different areas. And the longer this all goes on, the different points the market is going to spend time, you know? And because it's spending time at different areas, certain things will make more sense than others, and certain will make less sense. So now that I have redone them, it's again a higher confidence level. And I know I didn't really explain them currently, but look, what I look for is areas of high confluence, you know? And I know it's quite a lot of lines, but all of these regions have high confluence. This one I might be able to remove this one.
High confluence meaning
this
a
one can
high
go.
probability of price
Look.
spending time there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wicks into this dwell block at the downside, you know? But I could also move this one to here. I move this one. Can I remove this one? No, it wicks into them so much. That's what I need to. Look, This has the confluence of this bottom, this body, this bottom, this bottom, the body of this, the consolidation of this bottom, this bottom, this bottom, this bottom, right? But this one has these wigs and has this body formation. This one is a bit of an odd one. Prefer it to be more here. This slightly up. This one can leave for now. But the rest still has a lot of confluence. You see what I mean? Like, even this one, the 70.3 is exactly where it rejected yesterday. So it must have high confluence still. And it still has working. Oh, dumping at monthly open. Where do you see BTC price being in May? I have no clue. I'm not Nostradamus.
Since we've been spending a lot of time in this kind of 70k, 67k-ish range, have you formed an opinion on when you think you'd start accumulating some spot and rebuying for long term?
I think we're still way too high. I think we legitimately need to go to the 50k regions or even the 40ks. Again, we have geopolitical tensions. We have a lot of issues globally. There's so much happening right now. And I think, and people will hate me for saying this, I think we're way too high right now. Like legitimately way, way, way too high.
So I know did you publicly sell the top at 126k? Because I know you've mentioned that
123.
on 123k. Yeah, that's
123.
crazy. That's crazy. And while we're on the topic, what was the reason for you choosing that top at 123?
Because everyone in my timeline was calling higher. And the same stuff, not gonna lie, is happening now as well. Everyone is saying, oh, we bottomed. Everyone is starting to long. Everyone is... I don't know. People are getting too bullish for my likings, to be honest. Upper blue band of the second blue is 71.5. Listen, this makes sense liquidity-wise. This one is a bit tricky. This one is... Yeah.
Pumping back up to that level where we were previously. Lightly. Taylor keeps buying like a maniac. Do you have an opinion on that as well, whether or not Saylor can keep up the price of Bitcoin solely? Because I know he's negative by 10,000 per Bitcoin now. I think his average is 78,000 or 75,000 or something as of the most recent buy, which is crazy because that's massive.
Saylor is the most dangerous thing to the industry as of currently. Why? Because it's like almost a big Ponzi scheme with the interest rate that he's giving. Yeah, I don't watch it that much. All I know is the fact that he buys ODC, and in the process of buying ODC, the methodology that he uses for doing it, he's way overpaying. So that's when they mark up price because he's buying. He doesn't influence the price, but the price wants to be influenced and just throws him higher. That's basically what they're doing with him. But good. That's my 2 cents about Saylor.
Okay. But you don't pay too close
By
attention.
the way, guys,
because...
only 70 likes. What's wrong with you all?
What? 70 likes. Come on, people. Smash it. Yeah, you've been calling lower for quite a while. I know you've had TPs set on quite a few shorts at like 64, 66k. Seems like you
Yes.
feel like 66 is a point where it'll definitely find some sort of support at least.
Yes. The chat is slow. Yeah, indeed. BTC 1 million. It's very well possible. But not with the current macroeconomics and all the economics in general. Listen, MicroStrategy has more IPO'd companies, right? Same as they released last week. So, yes, it will be big. Yes, it is interesting, but currently Bitcoin has no real world value yet instead of a nice to have instead of a must have asset. So, I don't know, guys. Even in 10 years, it's a push and it's a stretch.
Do you have any thoughts about the quantum computing cracking old Bitcoin wallets?
Yeah.
Does it concern you, or do you take that into consideration at all?
I'll see when it happens. Listen, everyone keeps on yelling quantum computing for the last 5 to 10 years. Yeah. I don't care. I don't care that much.
Hmm.
Listen, I'm a trader, right? So I will buy Bitcoin when it's low enough for me to buy again. But everything in between, as long as it moves, I'm perfectly fine with it. If it moves to a million, if it moves to 0, if it moves to 150k, yeah.
Fair
I'm
enough.
not that bothered.
You're gonna make money anyway. Yeah, I see
Yeah.
what you mean.
As long as it moves, I'm trading it, you know. I'm not funneling profits into spot right now. I'm funneling profits into real world assets like property and stuff like that, and investment funds. And yeah, Max, that's what I agree. I think that the next big crack would be a stablecoins like Circle or whatever going down, because or Tether, Circle and Tether are the guys behind USDC and USDT. There's so less known about these companies, and yet they're printing so much money. So do you trade based on when narratives are pumping now? Yeah, XRP is insanely delusional. We is cooked, maybe.
I have a question about what you're looking at right now on FlowX. What's the most important section of FlowX for you that is determining your bias for that time frame? Is it that money inflow? Does that tell you a lot, or are they all just combined? Because obviously you wouldn't have it there if it didn't mean anything. But I'm curious what you look at the most, because there is quite a bit to digest there.
If the volume that's coming in is representing what the price is doing, that for now is the most important thing, because perps and spots are semi-aligned right now, also in the higher time frames in terms of CVD. Even though perps is the only one buying this pump, look.
So what's telling
Most
you
of
that
this
Perps is buying it? So visually, what are you seeing to know that that's the case?
look at the two different lines. Spot, perps.
Mm-hmm.
So the
So
spot
you're looking for
CVD
when they
keeps on
start
dumping.
diverging massively.
Yeah, spot CVD keeps on going down. And perps keeps on pumping out of it.
Spot's a lot more stable, isn't it? Much more of a linear graph.
Yeah, but I think the visualization is slightly off.
Okay.
Look, spot is going down. I have to let the team know.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of good stuff on that screen. Definitely a really good dashboard for
Yeah.
getting an overall insight. How about that money inflow
Yes.
and outflow? What does that mean to you when you're looking at the whales versus the retail traders and so on?
It's just the big trades. So it gives you an idea what the big guys are thinking or what the big guys are doing. So that's also it's pretty handy to have.
And does that mean much to you, seeing what the big guys are doing, what the whales are doing?
Yeah, then I can see what my family is up to, you know.
True.
My whale buddies.
Yeah, when you start trading, you're going to be moving that graph, which is pretty funny.
Yeah. Wait, I see another bug.
I know wallet tracking's always been huge, tracking whale wallets, but I don't know anyone who's had extreme success in doing that because oftentimes whales, from what
We
I've
are
seen,
building a
aren't
wallet tracker
necessarily
right
better.
now, which is going to be, I think, pretty interesting. It's a completely new concept. It is a little bug in here. You can see the screen moving slightly when the price moves. But that's something we have to fix. It's an easy fix. You see, Spot is still selling, man. Spot is selling on every time frame. Do you ever trade S&P 500 high leverage? I can. I could trade anything I want, but I'm just focused on Bitcoin right now, like massively focused on Bitcoin. And I think you need to lock in order for something to make sense.
It's an interesting concept because you wouldn't, for like a criticism you have of Bitcoin sometimes, especially in these random times like right now, is the lack of volume. So any influx could cause a big move, but the S&P just has so much volume. So that criticism would be gone. So
Yes
it'd
and
be
no,
interesting.
because you can only trade it during opening hours.
Yep. Oh, new high. Look at that. High of this pump.
Knee high. Come on,
I'd
baby.
love to see
Go
this
for
limit
it.
get smashed. I would love that.
Me too.
We haven't taken a trade on
I
camera for a
really,
little while.
really like.
And remember, guys, if we happen to not end up trading on this stream, any trades that I take will be posted in the Discord, 𝗕𝗟𝗡 Discord, which is
I
Chento's
still need to
Discord.
get that channel, right?
Yeah, for now I've just been posting it in the general chat. Most people have been seeing
Yeah,
it.
that's fine.
And there's nothing special about what I would be saying because I'm just following Chento's trades
No,
that
it's fine.
he's posting. So
I just forgot to make it. Or actually, I think you said hyperliquid is totally different from sex. Do you use it? If not, why? Hyperliquid has full public tracking, and I don't like that, to be honest, because I don't want people to know my addresses, my capital, etc., etc. Because if I would trade hyperliquid, like most big hyperliquid whales, people don't know who they are, right? But me, they would know. So I prefer not to. Funny enough, my friend came back from Chicago to London as he's stating that he never felt so safe. I think your friend is blind. What's up, Chento? Yo, Luke.
is there any other
Tracking whale
drawback
wallets is
to
good for
Hyperliquid?
expose.
Or is it just mainly that transparency thing? That's an interesting...
I don't understand how they get their volume and how they do their market making. I think something weird is going on, and I haven't found a quant yet of Hyperliquid, so I'm trying to figure it out. But I think that there's a market maker involved, and it's not really a decentralized exchange. That's what I'm thinking. But it's an allegation that I cannot, I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, I see a ton of Hyperliquid wallet trackers. With your profit figures, you wouldn't be safe on there just with the amount of volume that would be copy trading you on all of the different copy trading platforms there are. It would become a bit of a mess. Did anyone in the chat take any bangers over the weekend?
Hi guys, going to keep doing this series. Listen, I want to do something with bags, definitely, but I cannot keep up streaming 2 times a day. That's just me being honest. Like, no, honestly, it's fucking rough, man.
Yeah, you need to have a life.
Streaming 2 times, yeah. Chento 𝗕𝗟𝗡 𝗥𝗲𝗡 too, yes. Took the move up, GG. Yep, lost 100. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh on that, but sorry. For my pattern to hold, it has to start climbing up from here again. Any options on exchange ladder? Same shit.
Selmar says, I will stream with Baxter. I'm good. Thank you, though. Appreciate the offer. My biggest hater.
Any opinions about exchange ladder? Yeah, it's the same as Hyperliquid. I don't know. Dude, we're just hanging out. You're just sitting on charts 14 hours a day. Anyway, just stream easy. Yo. Tranquilo, Tranquilo. The thing for me, it's not the streaming itself. It's the need to stream, right? People will feel that if I miss a couple days of whatever, or I also have, I have a life. So sometimes the 14 hours a day, I'm 4 or 5 hours on my phone of those. So trust me, it's a lot of work, man. It's not easy. But yeah, we'll see. Ladder is so ass. Oh, well, what can I say, right?
You're enjoying Blowfin at the moment,
yeah,
still,
I'm
Chento?
streaming New York Open. Huh?
You're enjoying Blowfin at the moment still with your big volume?
Yeah, it's good. I like it. Blowfin is perfect. So guys, if you want to trade with us, if you want to get access to the indicators, if you want to get access to the platforms, make sure to join the free Discord. And again, I do everything for free for the people that know me by now. But I want to pay the software team and everything. So that's why we ask you to sign up with our link. And if you want our protection, our systems and our tools and everything, it's strongly advised to join us and trade with us.
I think I saw somewhere that you surpassed $1 billion in volume in your personal Blowfin account. Is that the case?
Yeah, I did. 1.1 billion.
That's fucking crazy. Like for those who may not know how much volume that really is, that is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a fuck ton and some more.
And that's a lot of fees as well. But the fees don't matter when, like you say, you've turned 500k into 2 point something million in 3 or so weeks. So it's crazy. It's awesome. If you were trading somewhere else, you may well have got hunted or dealt with all the other issues that you mentioned with
Blowfin is doing very well. Like, not gonna lie, I like Blowfin. It's very good. What's the Discord name? It's 𝗕𝗟𝗡, my friend. Llamas in the studio would help? Absolutely not. So how much you make after billion volume? Yo, GS, that got you immediately muted. Do you treat yourself to a nice car? Listen, I already have the new M5, so I don't know what Yeah, the traders in the Discord are doing an absolutely amazing job. So yeah. Blowfin is goated. It actually is. So if you guys want to be safe, if you want to be trading on a good exchange, and if you guys want to have access to all the tools, yeah. Do me a favor along with 200 million, bro. I can't. I could an 100x, but Bybit versus Blowfin. Blowfin is non-KYC, so it depends on your preference, right?
It would be interesting.
No, my fees are 0.0035, and it's not about Listen, I don't care about these fees because I pay them anyway. So even if I get a cashback, I'm paying my own fees and getting X amount back. So I don't know why people are so hanging on these fees.
In the chat, do we think we're going to smash this limit order of 69,700? I'm hoping that we do. It would be good to get some action on here again. It's always a very good time. I know the chat goes mental when we're in something. A lot of fun. I'd be curious to see what you would do to the order book if you were to 100x full port your $2 million account and how much that would actually send the price up. I guess it would probably glitch out and wouldn't feel because it would be too crazy.
It will hit exchange limitations. They won't let me open more than 600 Bitcoin.
Can you hold more than 600 Bitcoin in a trade? Like, can you enter periodically?
You can't. You can't. You can't. So even multiple orders, the exchange limit of 𝗨𝗏𝗡 is 600 Bitcoin to protect the order book and protect the market making and everything. So that also shows that they're not booking because the market maker will limit us. So yeah, you have to think differently when you're playing with the big boys, you know. It's not as easy as just, oh, I'm gonna press. So the max is 41 million. Yeah, 40 million position. 40 million open position in a single direction on Bitcoin is the maximum of 𝗨𝗏𝗡. On Bybit, it's 80 million. And that's only 40 million. Not worth it.
Funny.
Prove me that you can do it, my friend.
It's crazy numbers. 40 million. Hilarious.
When 𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗧. So we use 5 exchanges at once. No. Yeah, that would be interesting. That's when you become a market maker, but market making comes with completely different responsibilities and everything. 40 out 10x is still 4. I'm crazy. Yeah. Yeah, chat having questions about 100 million entries. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I don't know what my largest position ever was. I think it was like 45 to 60 million.
I think I've seen you post on Twitter a profit screenshot from either a Bitcoin long or short from potentially a while back, but I believe it was a 7-figure unrealized gain in the one trade, which is just outrageous. I think that's everyone in his dream to have a trade open with unrealized 7 figures in profit. That is sick. We'll get there, people. I can relate to all of you in the chat if we're striving for those numbers. We'll get there. With the help of Daddy Chento, of course. See what Bitcoin does. Would really love to get filled.
$568 Bitcoin is the biggest I had.
And what leverage was that on?
22. A pretty decent position. Who does your taxes? I have a very good tax guy. Why is my mouse gone? The real question is, how much did you blow up before making back via skills and experience? The thing is, it took me 12 months to become profitable and 15 to 18 months to be consistently profitable. I blew almost all the money I had then. right? So I think I blew 100K. Do we trade there? Bro, tell me what the fucking trade. There's no trade right now. We have limits orders set. Do you make money or you just want to gamble?
I like the Chento quote from a few streams
Sorry.
ago. Gamblers look at how much they'll make. Traders look at how much they can lose. I think that's a good way to look at things. I hadn't heard that before, but I like that. Like that a lot.
Yeah. 𝗕𝗟𝗢𝗙𝗂𝗧𝗢, I could help you. How did you get the money to trade? I had companies in the past that were doing well and I had good jobs. No, I don't gamble actually. Like sometimes with friends a little bit, but it's more to chill and chat and whatever. No, I don't do that stuff. How much of your cash would you put in a single trade? Bro, depends on, are we talking account? Are we talking net worth? I would never exceed like 10-15% net worth. How did you start? Learn from other people? I did my own research. So I found no system that was working and I tried them all from cotton candy to ICT to SMC to whole and half number theory, etc., etc., etc. Yeah. So I couldn't find anything that I genuinely liked, so I had to do it myself. And that's when my painful journey of losing, annoyment, giving up begun. And then I figured out that the only way to look at the future is by looking back. And that's what so many people forget. Like I trade based on data that we used to have in the past as well, and things that have already proven themselves, right? You can see the TP on the screen now.
Speaking of which, what was your probability indicator today saying?
70% down.
Interesting. Pretty high. These numbers, I remember a few weeks ago, they were much more 50-50-ish, like 55,
Yes.
60%. We've seen some 70, 80, mid 80 days. Interesting.
Yes. Crazy, right?
I wonder why that
We've
is.
seen an 86%. I don't know. It's learning as well, and it's 100K to almost all lost to where you are now is amazing. Like a completely honest story of me. We were at the point when I was with my ex-girlfriend that she even wanted me to quit trading because of the strength and everything, or the constraint that it was putting on me, and our relationship and everything. So I almost had to, yeah, I almost quit, to be honest. But
Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty
I'm a
relatable
stubborn
story
asshole.
for a lot of entrepreneurs with trading or whatever business it is. In those early days, it can be strenuous on everything. I've dealt with similar-ish situations.
Yeah, and you get to the point where you're. No, that wasn't the reason to quit my girlfriend, but yeah, you get to the point where you have to really ask yourself, am I jeopardizing my relationship and my future for a dream I have? And is it actually realizable or not? And for me, it was realizable, but it's not a guarantee that it will be for everyone. How did you trade when you started, bro? I was the biggest revenge trading idiot that this world has ever seen. I thought I knew it all because I was making, yeah. Yeah. I almost lost it all. Let's put it that way. Chento, do you have longer term BTC holdings? Not yet. I had a short from 120 and I closed that at 72. But after that, you'll be a different man, came over, then became profitable. 100%. I'm in the phase now of learning and stressing a lot, but my wife is pushing me to stick with it. The right woman will push you to support you. Bro, I'm not saying that she was the wrong one, right? So 𝗕𝗟𝗢𝗙 now is founded in November 22. So it's almost 4 years that we have this amazing trading community, which is for a trading community in crypto an insanely long time. And I started trading, I think, in 2018 or 2019. So, yeah.
It's been a while.
Trading makes you humble. Navigates your ego. Yes, it does. How much leverage you went on that trade? 8x. How do you approach if your friend and family say they want to make money too without knowing anything? You know, there's delicate subjects that each trader encounter. That's one of the hardest questions you could ask me.
Yeah, I read the same question.
I
and
have
I'm
a very,
thinking,
very strict policy about it. Like, we are in the process of owning a legal hedge fund, and for me, it's simple. If you have 100K or more, you can put it at the hedge fund. I don't manage other people's money. I never have, I never will. I might do copy trading at some point for like high net worth people on an exchange. But as of now, I don't do it. I don't advise, I don't trade, I don't help or whatever. Or it has to be insanely close family, and I need to know that they are, you know, I invest with my dad. But that's different. But honestly, I would not take it, man. Because all you can do is lose with it. People say, I don't care about the money, I trust you, yada, yada, yada. But still, they have the expectations. Yeah. Don't. Do you have a percentage in counter trend trades you take when holding a bigger position trend following? I have levels where I hedge, but I don't hedge often because like if I'm biased, or I try not to get biased, right? So if I'm not biased, I can, with a clear view, clear vision, look at the market. If I'm in both directions, then I need to be able to see something for both sides. And who says that I'm not defending one or the other? Because I'm in both. So scaling them, positioning them, yada yada, is pretty complex. So I don't do it often publicly. I do it. But yeah. Can you go to the chart with the buys? Yeah, sure, buddy. Still consolidating at this semi-range high. Like 20, 30%. No, not necessarily. I scale towards probability. So if I'm in a short from, let's say, 90K, right? I did this. So I was short from 90K. My first bounce, I took 82 back to 90, but I kept the 90K one. But I did it with 50% of the size. Then I closed it back at 90. It went to 95, but I didn't ape in again. So I DCA'd my short. So the profits that I made on the long, I DCA'd back into my short. Then I rode it to 72K. And at 72K, started DCAing long again. But my position will always be more than 50% bigger into the dominant side. At least that's my system for it. It's possible for it to reverse from 69K? Yes, it is. So yeah. Work 3 jobs, save 50K, and swing trade only after liquidation events. Leverage is what kill people accounts. No, let me explain this once more. Leverage does not kill an account. Why doesn't kill an account? You kill it. It's the way that people use leverage is what kills an account, right? If I take 30% of my account on leverage 3, which I do with insane swing trades on my main, there's no way leverage will kill my account. But the thing that I have is I only have 30% capital exposed while representing 90% of my total capital in the account. That's a completely different approach and a completely different mindset and mentality towards leverage, right? What is the issue that most people do? They take the whole fucking account, 50x it, and then say, oh, leverage is dangerous. No, it's not. Leverage is a substitute for capital allocation. But leverage now is being abused and being used to completely aim into positions and new realms that you've never even seen up close. Listen, the guy that is trading with $100 has never traded with his whole life with 10K probably. That probability is very, very slim. So if he has the $100, he goes 100x. He's all of a sudden in a completely new realm where he hasn't even been yet. You get what I'm saying? It's a different topology. I do it to limit my exposure, right? If they would take the 30% on 3x, the market has moved 33% down. And I take that because there has been a liquidation event or whatever. And then I prefer to have the 60% that can still re-represent the previous 90% on leverage 5 or 6. So with even smaller capital, I can represent the same amounts of money. That's how I use leverage, as a substitution for putting capital, not as an excess of the capital I have. And that's something people need to understand.
Yo, in these small account, at least this small account challenge we've been doing, we've been kind of using it in the way that you described not to, but obviously when you use stop losses and you understand the market, the way you do it can make sense. But for the average beginner, it's definitely a recipe for disaster. It's why the market makers make so much money.
Yeah, look at it. They made 9 million in the last hour, almost 10. Like,
do you ever think this money is going to dry out? Because it baffles me
it is
sometimes.
drying up already. Let's be honest. After 10-10, look at what even though exchanges are posting different numbers, I can for a fact tell you that the market is drying up. Listen, what happened? ETFs took out a lot of the liquidity in the spot market, so that dried up as well because the circulating supply is going down and down and down and down. Then came 10-10. You can imagine how much that taken out, man. It was 20 billion. That 20 billion ain't coming back. Like, people keep on putting in money and keep on upscaling, but not to the extent of where it has been. Nah.
Were you sitting at the desk during 10-10? Were you sitting here watching it all unfold?
Bro, I was short.
I thought you would have been people in short positions during that. I thought the exchanges would have auto closed due to
No.
whatever that thing is called. I can't remember.
Listen,
the word
I've seen some very, very, very strange shit during 10-10. But yeah.
So did you
Which
make a
expand
bunch of money on the
𝗕𝗟𝗢𝗙
short?
It's a bit confusing. Yeah, I did.
What's the percentage of your
Like, the
account
whole
you're taking
Discord.
this trade? We're in with 50% of the 10,000 that we've got in the blowfin, but we've got 14,000, so that's 40%-ish, probably about 35%.
Yeah, what I said to Baxter is, no matter what happens now, we should not lose the original balance anymore. So that's why we took out the 4K.
Yeah,
If
that
this trade is
insurance
successful,
policy.
we take out another K from the main port and just put it there so that whatever happens, it's it's secured.
Yep. And we also took it out so you could kind of eliminate a bit of that mindset shift on, yeah, wow, gee whiz, look at that.
Bro, why do they keep front running me? It's getting so annoying. Oh.
We're at a dwell block. Interesting.
Yeah. I want this candle to get green again and start pumping. So much pressure, man. Liquidity sweep, yes. They might have front ran us again.
Yeah, we're getting some movement now.
Yeah.
Is spot and perps both selling now, which is why it's dropping so rapidly?
It's mostly futures.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more about that as you talk about it, because the way you look at the move, depending on who's buying and who's selling, whether it's heavy with spot or perps, is very interesting. And it's definitely,
yes, it is.
It's almost had 100%.
We're gonna make a video about it as well. And it's what I keep saying. Like, listen, now the current meta is figuring out if the market is lying to you or not. That's the only meta that you need right now. And you can see on Twitter, more and more people are picking up on CVD as well. Like, oh, CVD is something we need to watch. Oh, CVD is interesting. I've been preaching this for the last half year or plus. Now all of a sudden it's getting traction.
Was trading easier back when the volume was significantly higher? You didn't have to... Were you thinking about what you think about now in terms of if the market's manipulating you or trying to steal? Were you looking at the liquidations and things as much? Or were you looking at more of those typical patterns that people talk about, like trend lines? And I know your favorite trading concept, trend lines. Was it easier then?
I don't want to talk about trend lines.
All that basic like textbook trading knowledge that people talk about on the internet, I feel like was probably more applicable then.
It used to be. Listen, the markets, guys, let's be honest. Everyone that is left in this market right now has some trading experience, right? So people are getting smarter, exchanges are getting smarter, algorithms are getting smarter, AI is coming up, AI trading bots, everything, right? So do you think that the algorithms and the market makers don't get smarter themselves as well? I think it's so weird and so dumb to think that ordinary concepts remain working for years and years on. That to me is ridiculed.
Yeah, makes sense. That's kind of where my head's at with the basic equities market and the stock market. Is everyone just constantly preaches how you can never go wrong just buying and holding, which I obviously agree to an extent because that has been the case forever. But I feel like even that concept of us never having a dip that's gonna wipe people out, people really don't think that'll ever come, and I personally think it might. That's why I'm risk off at the moment, because it's just been too easy.
I understand that.
I feel like
everyone
who's bought stocks has made money if you've held, even if you've picked some random ones. Obviously, you're more likely to have lost, but it's hard to pick a loser over the last 3 to 5 years, and I don't know if that should necessarily be the case. It's a weird one though. I could
only
be
one getting
completely
dumbled by
wrong.
my trades. Sorry, that's a funny comment. No, yeah, you're right. The thing is, everyone has been making money. Everyone has been able to print money out of thin air. It makes 0 sense.
Well, it's been the cheat code for everyone. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, what job you have. If you've been putting money aside into index funds or anything, you've been making money. And it's literally the simplest, easiest thing.
Everything keeps going up. Inflation is going up as well, and they're printing money. So explain to me, you know? And the markets can stay irrational for quite long, but they can't stay irrational forever. And that's
I feel like they've stayed
to the
irrational
critical
for
point
so
where
long.
Yeah.
Like, it's been irrational for years. People have been... Obviously, there's going to be always someone calling the dump and calling the pump, but some very smart people have been calling the dump for so many years, and they've missed out on a hell of a lot of gains, but we're like, God, how much longer have we really got of this free money?
I don't know.
Bonanza.
I honestly can't tell you. I don't know.
We'll see.
How far away are you to? It's getting pretty close, my friend, to be honest.
So 𝗨𝗏𝗡, the tool you're using right now, is going to be exclusive for people trading on scalp.
We're using 𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗧, yes.
Who are using 𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗧. Okay.
𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗧. Yes.
Very good.
Bags, it feels like the front runners again, my friend.
We're sitting right on your delicious 12 block, which seems to always happen.
It was a 0.6% move.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Quick 30%. Anyone in the chat got any questions for Chento while we're in this limbo of being pretty far away from our limit order, and we can go through some questions as we do. And I can hopefully get some more elaboration out of Chento on some things as well, if you guys are curious about anything in particular.
How do I know I get the VIP? If VIP is next to your name, you can click your own name and then you can see the rules. If it says VIP, then you have it. Guys, hit the like button. It's free, huh? Come on. Do you think we could sweep 75? Yes. Do you change anything? Not yet. Should I find some quick scalps? I tried. Do you agree with that? We are in a news-driven environment. I don't think news drives the price, to be honest. Live for New York later, yes. How big's the community? 21K people now? And no, I haven't. You have any days that he doesn't trade as a rule? I try to avoid weekends. Start trading. I wanted to make it. Maybe doing something else aside. Yeah. I started with a job and owning a company, and that then pivoted towards only trading in the end. You haven't been getting the VIP for 𝗨𝗏𝗡 lately, bro. We stopped working with 𝗨𝗏𝗡, so that might explain.
Get on Blowfin, people. That's the place to be. Looks like it's probably going to be one of those days again where we get a little bit unlucky, mixture of luck and poor timing, and probably won't be entering something on stream, but you never know.
How to explain this aggressive move? They wanted liquidity back below the... They were looking for liquidity below. It was 2.4 million that was easily sitting there in a $150 move. Well, I just hope they don't directly fucking dump. Yeah, I'm setting limit orders here. These are my limit orders. Sorry guys, it's not that I'm annoyed of not having fun, but it's just, bro, they keep on pressuring so suddenly that this market is, and I keep on repeating myself, it's so dangerous to trade. And Max C, I would use Blowfin, man. Some good areas, set limits. Pyramidal DCA, yeah, but
Bro,
bro,
we've taken less trades, but not losing money is a win, as everyone here knows.
yeah,
we'd much
we
rather...
still 3x the port, you know? We went from 5K to 15K in 10 days of trading.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
ridiculous.
Very, very good. I want to preserve capital, you know, because then we can start scaling for the big boys league as soon as we've actually bottomed. And that for me makes it more interesting than just fucking around right here. And I would love to build a pyramid scaling short, but I think I'm going to lose 80% of the people, and then they're going to get liquidated and they're going to cry in the corner and shit like that. Like, I know how to DCA, but I'm just slightly afraid that most won't.
Is there a simple way to describe the way you DCA, or is it quite complex?
It's top heavy. So what I do is I start with 10%, go to 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, right? On certain points. But people already have a hard time reading a single limit order, let alone if I put 6 limit orders with different percentages of port. And you've even seen it yourself when I told you to DCA, you just click the 25% button and the 25% button, then it goes wrong because the second 25% is not 25% of the port anymore. So you have to upscale it.
Yep.
So it takes preemptive calculation before.
Yep. Easy when you got 10K because you can just look at that margin amount and just do the simple math. But that would be interesting if we DCA'd into something. That'd be cool way to finish it if we get to 30k or 25 or something and then build up some big fat position. That would be cool. See what happens.
Yes. That's what I'm planning. So you're saying we're dumb? I'm saying that you guys are predominantly trigger happy and have the tendency to have a less attention to detail than you should have for utilizing certain positions.
I think
that was
it's
pretty
that.
well said.
It's just the basic principle of psychology of like the FOMO of instead of going in with 10%, you're going with 100% because the win rate's so good lately. But then that's of course the trade that hits the stop and then you're screwed, and everyone knows how that goes. I think we've all been there.
Listen, it's fine to miss certain moves, and that's what people still don't understand. You know, I prefer to get closer to the bottom and start scaling in 5x and hold that to absolute oblivion instead of wasting money here. And I keep on saying it. Imagine you can now lose money at the 65 to 70k region. And if you now lose, let's say you have 10k and you lose 2k, right? And from here we bottom at 40k. That 2k would be 5% of a Bitcoin, right? So 0.05 Bitcoin is what you lose on spot. If you would 10x that, it's half a Bitcoin less positions. And for me, it's just way more important to preserve capital. Retail, then they are money hungry and something is off. Only 8 entries? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Smaller bear flag forming might be, I don't know. Bear flag, bull flag, inverted, godly pattern, upside down, as fuck, bad pattern. I couldn't care. Inverted freaking lobster.
I think this challenge has been a good insight into sitting on your hands and being sidelined and yes, missing huge moves, and obviously that's a bit frustrating, but we've still got the money.
Why?
So it's a very good.
Yo, listen, I think no one can complain for publicly flipping an account 3x in 2 weeks. Like, who
Yeah,
does
I mean
that?
frustrating for us when we get front run by $50 and $30 and so on, because it has happened a few times. But we've
Oh yeah, it's the worst.
yeah, we've done amazing. Well, by we I mean you.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
it's fine. I'm not aiming for the credits or whatever, but it just, you know, it's so much more important to sit on your hands and just wait until the setup comes to you instead of trying to ape in. Was it always full port? No, not even that. Not even that. We haven't even full ported it. And the best trade, the 73k short, we missed it by a couple dollars. By like $20. That would have been another 15 to 20k.
yeah, that would have been huge. I wonder if he would have held that all the way down.
I would.
It was a huge move. It was like 3
Yeah,
or
bro,
4%.
but you know me by now. I just latch on like a freaking leech and I don't let go of it. I was chief strategic officer and co-owner of an AI controlled lighting system and lighting system manufacturer.
It's pretty niche.
And in your opinion, when trading inverse perpetual, what's your strat for that? What do you mean? You just mean future trading or what? Iran apparently is refusing a ceasefire.
Oh, is that coming through right now? Because got a little candles here.
Oh man, they're gonna front run it. Yeah. Ah! You know that I was looking at the chart and I was actively doubting. Why was I doubting? Because I saw this liquidity here. So I first wanted to go 69.3. That would have been even more painful.
Yeah, well, that would have just missed it, and we'd be crying. Is this a news dump?
I don't know. I would expect a huge, huge dump.
Based on what you know, if Trump was to follow through with what he was threatening with that tweet, would that kill Bitcoin, at least in the short term?
I don't know.
It's hard because nothing's really consistent at the moment with what news
Listen,
does.
logic would say it would, but practice you don't know, right?
Yeah,
You don't know how they want to interpret it. And that's the big issue right now.
definitely.
They have to read that 68.4 now. Would there be a way of the liquidity building up as long or short orders? Bro, you know, above is short orders, below is long orders. That's a pretty silly question in my opinion. You can't liquidate longs higher, right? So longs don't get liquidated up high. So on top, if they pump, they're liquidating shorts. If they dump, they're liquidating longs. You can't do it the other way around. You can't liquidate a short by going lower. Interesting. How will New York open? Like a madhouse, man.
My time zone has shifted,
Yeah,
so
we will
New
see.
York opens 1 hour earlier for me now. So instead of midnight, it opens at 11 p.m. So I get to watch a little bit of it, which is nice.
Oh, lucky you. Do you think inexperienced traders should lay low in the current climate? An inexperienced trader should always lay low until they know the fuck they're doing. Listen, people just blindly ape in all the time. I always advise you to do research first. Same with exchanges. I spend days, weeks with a whole team to figure out what exchange we should use and for what reasoning. And people only look at fees. I want to see liquidity. I want to see the team. I want to see who's behind it. I want to see what they're actually doing. I want to see proof of funds. I want to see UI, UX, working, servers, yada, yada, yada. Listen, people are putting their hard worked, well earned money, even if it's $100. Why would you jeopardize your hard-earned $100 or 1,000 and the money clearly means something for you? Otherwise, it wouldn't be there and you wouldn't try to make more out of it. Why would you so easily put it somewhere you have no clue? Just the fees are low. For me, all of these things make no sense. Absolutely brain rot. Sorry for saying. And I know I might offend people with this, but do your own freaking research, you know? No, I only trade Bitcoin. And why do I only trade Bitcoin? Because I specialize myself in it and I'm really fucking good at it. Why? Because I only trade Bitcoin. You know, that's just my 2 cents. And people are willing to put their money on places where they have no clue of. People are willing to wager and bet and even gamble their money when they have no clue of on what or on what pretenses. Makes no sense to me, right? Everyone complains, oh, I got liquidated on MaxC. Well, I could have fucking told you. Why? Because you're choosing the cheapest option. The cheapest option isn't always the best option, guys. Do your own research. Your chart is stuck? Really? Is my chart stuck?
Yeah, it looks like your screen might actually be stuck. Yeah, your mouse isn't moving on our side.
Fixed.
All right, we're back. Yep, we're back. Weird. Thank you for noticing that. Whoever noticed that, good pickup.
So yeah, I think people should genuinely take more care into doing that.
Yeah, you're the first I've heard actually speak about exchanges in that way. Obviously, everyone just goes with whichever exchange wants to pay them the most money to talk about them. I don't know,
Listen,
that's different for you, which
put
is...
yourself in my position. I now have more than 2 million at 𝗨𝗏𝗡. If you had 2 million, would you just deposit it anywhere that says, oh, I'm giving you the best fees? Like, listen, I have to think about completely different things, right? With your $100, and sorry to say this, and don't take this as hate or criticism, the chances of you being able to withdraw are approximately 100%. Might be 99.98. But if I go to an exchange and I start making money and I deposit 100K, 200K, 500K, whatever amount, I still have to be able to get my money off, you know? And still be able to trade and not get hunted and not get absolutely attacked by them. That's what I think about. And that's why we have the inner circle for people that are trading with more than 50K. They're under my protection and I'm helping them. Yes, it might not be the best fee structure. And yes, they could do cheaper at other places, but they get my trades, they get my attention, they get my help. So if you're trading with more than 50K, shoot me a DM. You will also get earlier access to all the indicators, to the software, to the platforms we're building. But it's a different game, man. That's what
Yeah,
people
I'm in
need
the
to
inner
understand.
circle, and it's absolutely fire. It's bangers. Banger info. There's a lot of really smart people in there talking, and obviously Chento himself giving more info in there than what you get in 𝗕𝗏𝗡. So yeah, definitely recommend that.
Have you had issues with withdrawing from exchanges in the past? Absolutely. Bro, I had more than 1 million on FTX. Like, I've seen it all. I've done it all. I was CEO of an exchange myself. You guys need to be more careful, man. What if something goes bankrupt now? Maxi, do you... I tried to DM you last. Do I add you in Discord? Yes, but the real me. Or tag me in general chat saying, yo, this is my YouTube name. Then I know who you are. But people just forget so much, or they don't check that much. Listen, have you ever walked into a random bank and just be like, yo, here's my money, take it? Like Tybin, I was CEO of 2bit. Okay, Tybin, one, if you randomly walk into a bank and you're just like, yo, take my money and don't ask further questions. Or two, if you actually do decent research. Same for a mortgage.
Yeah, I think
How
a
many
mortgage
of
is a
you
good
have
one.
blind signed off a mortgage?
Hopefully not too many.
One. Same, try to DM. Tag me in general chat. And I will add you as a friend so you know it's the real me. So tag me in general.
What are we thinking about this limit? Should we still keep it here, or is it
So
looking...
why are not that many? Yo, listen, guys, we have 310 people. Wake up. Type 1 in the chat if you blindly deposited money to an exchange just for fees, or 2 if you're actually doing research. If we want to have a conversation and we want to have this stream going on for longer, it might be nice that we actually have a conversation, right? I see some 2s, that's good. Some more 2s, that's good. So people are actually checking. And that's what we all should do, right? That's why, how many exchanges are out there? Like, I can name you 30, 40 exchanges. Go to CoinGecko. Okay, we're going to do this together.
A controversial CoinGecko
We
with
need to withdraw.
potentially not the best data. It looks like
Look,
your screen's glitching out again on our side.
Bro, it's fucking annoying. No, it's not. It shows that it's showing.
On
Is it
my
showing or
side,
not?
I'm still looking at 𝗨𝗏𝗡 frozen.
Is it fixed now or not?
No. now. It's swapped to your music. I can see the camera screen now.
What's my actual due diligence? Bro, I was CEO at an exchange. I know how to do my due diligence. Trust me. So what I do, I check their proof of reserve. I check their leadership team. I check their software base. I check their liquidity. I check their market making mechanisms. I check their wallet that is going to Binance or not to see if they're B-booking. Is it frozen to this now?
Yeah, I'm just
Bro, why
having a
does this...
look on this side to see.
It's fixed now.
Not yet.
Which are the worst B-books? There's so many. EMK. Every exchange is listed in the Cayman Islands, my friend. Blowfin is good with reserves. Which are the worst B-bookers? Bro, I can name you so many. Binance is the shadiest market maker there is. Why does this fucking thing freeze?
I'm not sure. I can't. It's not picking up a signal on my end from your screen share.
Dumping time, yeah. That's what I said.
All right,
They
we're back.
will dump to 68,420.
Yeah, we're dumping hard. Damn, that would have been juicy.
I know. Tell me about it.
1%.
Annoying as hell. So look at these, right? So HDX, I don't know. Bullish, I don't know. Bitfinex, I don't know. Bitstamp by Robinhood, I don't know. Hashkey, I don't know. OSL Hong Kong, I don't know. Backpack Exchange, I don't know. OSL Global, I don't know. Coinstore, I don't know. Bitmart is Dutch. 𝗨𝗪𝗏 is number 23, right? It's not bad. Ascent EX, Bitmart, I don't know. XT.com, I don't know. 2bit, yay. Ubit, Upbit, no idea. Orbit, no idea. Whitebit, no idea. Bitfinex, no idea. Hipt, no idea. Here's Bytunix, CoinTR, no idea. Bitcan, no idea. Coins.ph, no idea.
Do you
BitCup,
think the
no
data
idea.
is accurate that you're looking at?
Non-KYC.io. No, it's not. But
Non-KYC.io. That's pretty funny.
Huh?
Imagine putting 2 million on there.
No, also on volume. CoinUp.io did 5 billion. Is anyone buying this? Anyone buying the fact that CoinUp.io and CoinStore did accumulated 8 billion yesterday?
Seems ridiculous, doesn't it?
I've
There's
never heard
no
of them.
other public traders
Average
who dig
bid-ask
deeper into
spread
this sort of stuff.
is over percent. So the bid-ask spread is a percent. What are we? Why are we even discussing this?
How are they putting up such fake numbers? Because it's obviously very significantly fake by a long margin.
Because people don't do their research, my friend. People don't check, people don't know. And I think it's partially laziness and partially there's not enough education on what to check for in an exchange. So we can write that down that we're going to do a Chentology about it as well. But it's hard, man.
Have we got any more Chentologies coming through?
Bro, you know that.
People love the first one. Yeah, I'm asking for the people.
Did we get front run? Someone asking in Discord? Yes, I think so.
Be interesting to see if it holds this 400 level.
The Clarity Act, I have no clue, to be honest. Yeah, it needs to hold the 400 level.
Pretty strong force down.
But I cannot see why they would reject from here, to be honest.
It's right at that
That annoys
accelerated
me.
email that you've got drawn.
Yeah, I can get that, but
wonder if it bounces off that again.
look, it's the mid-range of this one, and didn't even go here. Oh, wait. No. Moving the dwell block to here. Would this have making sense? Yeah. It would. Sorry guys that we got front run. It's part of the game. It's kind of annoying, but yeah.
Still a while away to that next 12 block down. Where's that next one sitting?
Quite annoying, guys. Max, I think we can cancel the limit, my friend.
All right, let's kill that limit. Cancel.
No, wait, just leave it. It's a 2%. It might be possible doing New York.
All right, I'll bring it back. It was full port 40x.
I think we're gonna leave it at this for now, guys. I'll be back at New York Open because I'm a bit slightly annoyed. Not that I could have seen it coming. I predicted this retest to the dollar now, but
we'll get there. One of these days we'll hit one of the full. We'll get that full range down, and it'll be juicy.
Yeah, we'll hit it.
Get it. We'll get there, people.
Where would you stake for yield? 500k plus private wealth management of Bybit. Long and exponential dump? No. Are you guys streaming tomorrow? Yes. Guys, hit the like button. Come on. 320 people viewing, only 175 likes. Let's get to 200 likes minimum. I know we can do it.
Let's smash 200 people. We'll be back here tomorrow for hopefully some juiciness.
Baby, yeah, I did it in the beginning of this stream, and I explained them as well, so you can watch that back. And if it's still not clear, ask me. Hit the like, guys. Come on, 60 more for 200. Rejected the VWAP from 75.8. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing as well. See for New York, yes. Make sure to sign up on Blowfin, trade with us, and shit, man.
Yeah, that's a big dumpy dump.
Not gonna lie.
Oh, it happens. All right, would you like me to end it up here?
Yes.
All right, people, we will see you tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in as always. We'll be back with some bangers, and if anything changes, we will update in the 𝗕𝗟𝗡 Discord. See you in there. See you tomorrow. Have a good one. Peace.
Thanks.